Hey, how are you, my friend? I'm right here saying hi to you and morning to you, wherever you are. Maybe you are in the US, and good night to you, good evening. I believe you're doing really well. Remember, always count what you have and always celebrate small wins. Today, I want to talk about one thing that is specifically very important, and it's called the power of going back to zero. Zero means nothing. When you have nothing, you have to figure out something. When you have everything, your mind is going to be filled with a lot of things, distractions. If your mind is full, you can hardly have any space to find more things in your life. This is an interesting topic, but I want to share with you from a story that I started before I came to Australia. My husband Luke and I lived in Hong Kong, and we were looking for somewhere to go. I always had a dream that I want to go overseas to live, and until one day there's a calling that I believe Melbourne is a place that I was meant for. So we start to think about it, start to plan for the whole thing. And to be honest, back then I was in very high position. I had almost everything I need. For example, I had a great position. I got many people reported to me. I got freedom. I could go back and forth Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and I could always ask the boss to give what I need. They increased my salary. I travel around the world to 6-star hotels, sometimes business class, met amazing people overseas. Life seems to be wonderful. However, something was missing. And that's what I'm saying here, my friend. Back to the topic I was sharing is I decided to go back to zero. Because when something was missing, when I felt empty, that's when I started to think, well, is this really what I wanted? Or I want something even better, not just for me, but for my children. So long story short, I got a job offer from Australia, and I got the job. That's why we moved to Australia a long time ago. So the story is telling you, my friend, it wasn't easy for me. When myself, especially my amazing husband Luke, we came to Australia, started from zero. Imagine, back then we got friends, families, colleagues. We got everything we need, amazing food in Hong Kong. But then everything just started from zero. And that was the biggest time for me, like most challenging time for me, because I had to literally give up my ego. I was struggling about who I was. I was always on the top of the world. All of a sudden, I start from nothing, from the ground. But you know what? When I looked back, that was the best time ever in my life. That taught me so much to be humble, to remain hungry, to look for things, to start to be more intentionally looking for growth, looking for new friends, looking for the things that I can build from nothing to something. And that was the best time ever, my friend. Sometimes when we are doing something, we wanted to achieve something, in between, there can be a lot of pain. It's like you went to the gym, and before you start workout, it was like, it's all right, it looks like fresh, new, I'm so excited. But when you start the workout process, like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, it's too painful, I want to give up, right? That's how exactly we felt when we got nothing, like we had to work so hard for every single thing in our lives. We had to buy a house, we had to rent a house first, we had to buy furniture. It was exciting, but in the meantime, it was also exhausting. And we didn't have much time to do like high quality life. It's more about struggling, starting from zero, from the groundwork. Everything is new, which was amazing that it trained so much of our muscle. And I was talking about when we go to the gym, that's when you feel like it's too much, but afterwards, you felt great. So that's exactly what happened to us. And when you have a spirit of the power going back to zero, you feel like, wow, this is great. I started from nothing, now I built up something. So don't be afraid to start from zero. We always talk about leadership, and why leadership is also related to this point, that going back to zero. Because when a leader is humble, when they have a mind that they always willing and resilient to go back to zero, that's when they can grow more and the most. Let me take a few examples. Number one, Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is a very famous speaker in the world, especially in the United States. And he is an amazing human. And I heard of his speech, and every time when he started to talk, it's not just about the way how he presented, it's also how deep from the bottom of his heart when he started to talk, he shows his humanity. He shows that he doesn't know everything, but he's willing to share that part of the truth that he didn't know everything, and he's willing to share his vulnerability. And that's something not every leader understands, because in the olden days, like even many other places right now in the world are still existing this, that there are many leaders, they think, if I'm showing them my vulnerability, if I'm showing that I'm vulnerable, I'm weak. In fact, if you're willing to show your weakness, if you're willing to tell people that you're not okay when you're not okay, that shows humanity, and that is even more powerful, and that takes courage rather than just say I'm okay when you're not okay, you're pretending to be okay. I'm not encouraging everyone to be just say, oh, I'm vulnerable, I can't do this, and become so weak. No, I'm talking about their strength, the courage to admit that we are all humans. We don't know everything, but it's okay to share and to express the authenticity that we don't know everything. And that brings us closer to the team and to the people in our lives. And the funny part is, when you heard Simon Sinek talking and when he started to show his vulnerability, you don't really show that, oh wow, you won't be like laughing at him. Instead, you respect him more, much more than ever. And that is the beauty when we're willing to show that we are all human beings and we remain humble. When you remain humble, that brings you a lot of leadership skills, and that brings you a lot of admiration from people, because they know that you're connected. And we're all humans, and in fact, any of us can be a leader as long as we believe we can, as long as we are willing to start from nothing to something, and from 0 to 1 or to 10. And how about those characters in the Bible, like King David, like Moses? All of these leaders, all of these amazing characters, they were not perfect. And what makes them so attractive and charismatic is that they are willing to show that they're not perfect. And so when we are humble, even God wants to lift us up. And when we are too arrogant and too proud, and that's when the problem comes. Not just God doesn't want to lift you up, people don't want you to go up either. I'm not saying you need to rely on how people think about you, but when you are thinking that you are the best, in fact, there's no more room that you can grow anymore. And your world becomes so small, and all you're thinking is just yourself, self-centered, and all you're thinking is that you're the best, and nobody's better than you. And there's no more room that's open for any new knowledge, experience, or anything that you can learn. Every morning when I wake up, I always say to myself, I believe I can do anything, and nothing's impossible. My faith is so strong. But one thing I also need to remind myself is nobody knows everything. I don't know everything. That is why my day is beautiful. My day is better because I have something new that I can learn. How amazing is that? So here are the great elements and reasons why remaining humble and why having the spirit of going back to 0 can bring us. Number one is it can open your eyes. If your eyes are closed, imagine next to you there is a president from the nations, or Nelson Mandela, or this Mother Teresa, whatever these amazing successful people in history that they are standing around you right now. And you just there closing your eyes. I cannot see anyone around me right now. I feel I'm the greatest, I'm the best. No one's better than me. I don't need to learn anything. I don't need to communicate with anyone. My world is good and I'm good. Imagine that. That's going to be so sad because even these people, they're around you. They always believe they can learn more from the other people. And if you shut down your ears, close your eyes going to be closed, that you don't think you need anything. But when you have this spirit of going back to zero, the power of zero, then you will say, wow, I still have many things to learn today. And I'm new today, and I have so many new things I'm waiting to come to my life. And I see this person. Yes, I might have met them before, but I haven't asked enough questions. I can learn so much more from each and every one of them. And trust me, it doesn't have to be Mother Teresa or Nelson Mandela. There are many people in your life. They have different experiences. They have different life experience, work experience, business experience that they can share with you. But remember, don't take orders, take advice. Listen to what they're going to say. Sometimes what they're saying might not be helpful to you, but at least you can see a different angle of someone's opinions. When you show more understandings, when you see things more completely with different angles, you tend to be more successful. And the way how you speak next time will be even better than before because you hear different opinions. Now you understand when you talk to the group of audience, you only talk to one group of audience before. Now you can talk to all the audiences because you understand what are they thinking in their minds. And the other reason, an amazing thing that you can get when you remain the power of zero is you will stay kind. Because when you are too arrogant, you can hardly stay kind to people. And remember, when you start from nothing, you need everyone's help. You're more open to make friends and you're open to be kind to each other, like say hi. Like you tend to use 100% of your energy and you tend to be at present when you speak to someone. But when your life is so busy, filled with all the, let's say, money or trouble or business, all the things in the world, it's very hard for you to be kind sometimes. I'm not saying you're rude or unkind, but it's most likely you don't even have the intention to be kind. But when you have the spirit of being humble and the spirit of zero, then you'll be like, today, no matter which person I'm going to talk to, I will speak in a nice way. I remain kind because it doesn't just make them feel good, it will make me feel good. And of course, it also makes me be more open to learn and to grow. And the other thing, when you always remember come to the spirit of zero, is you will be confident but not arrogant. I said in another talk that the difference between being confident and arrogant is being confident means you know that you are good, but being arrogant means you are better than everybody else or others. So you compare yourself with others and you think you're the best. But there's a difference, my friend. So when you have that spiritual hunger and zero and you're willing to remain humble, you have more room and you also will keep yourself in an amazing position that you don't see you are better than anybody. In fact, in history, in my life, and through all the interviews that I had with many leaders in the world, some of them are billionaires, they all shared one thing that is in common. They don't think they're better than their colleagues or their staff. In fact, the people they're hiring are better than them. The thing isn't about how good you are, it's about how can you remain humble, how can you connect people, how can you be the best coordinator, how can you lift others, how can you be the amazing leader that is encouraging, empowering, and inspiring others. And that is called leadership, my friend. And when you remain the power of zero and hunger, it also gives you spiritual fulfillment. You don't just feel like, oh, wow, I'm doing something, for money, for income, and my life is great. As long as I have enough money, that's not how life works. When you need spiritual fulfillment, you need to remain that hunger. In Christianity, we remain hunger for God's words because when you have wisdom, you have everything. I always love reading Proverbs in the Bible. It tells us so much wisdom about how can we deal with the daily life, how can we make decisions when we face the challenging. In the Bible story as well, Solomon, he's a king, and there was a very classic story that there were two women who were fighting for their children. But only one of the women is a real mom. And Solomon, the wise king who asked for wisdom from God, he got the wisdom. And he asked the questions with these two women, and he said, okay, how about let's just cut the baby to half so you can share. So one of the women, of course, said, no, I don't want the baby anymore. Just let the other one take him. And that one is a mom. So this is called wisdom. And in spiritual life, we need more wisdom. When we have more wisdom, we will get more money. We will get more material things as well. We'll get much more blessings, and people will win more people in their heart and will help more people. When you're wise, everything is possible. And when you remain humble, and also, I'm not saying you being humble means you being weak or unconfident. There's a difference between that, my friend. Sometimes the more humble you are, the most likely you're more confident, because you do not need to prove yourself to others. I know so many people in my life that they're so calm. When I talk to them, they might not be so extrovert, and they might not be so talkative, but they're great listeners, and some of them are great leaders. And the funny thing is, they are more confident than many others. In fact, when you want to change their mind, when you tell them what to do, they tend to not listen to you. They might be polite to you, say, yes, thank you for your advice, thanks for what you say, but then when they go back, they will do their own way sometimes. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing right here. What I'm trying to highlight here is, my friend, there's a difference between being confident and be weak. And also there's a difference between being confident and be humble. You can have them at the same time. You can be humble and confident. On the opposite, you can be unconfident but also very arrogant, because sometimes as human we tend to cover ourselves. The more we are feeling insecure and unsafe, the more we want to show people that how amazing we are, how confident we are. There's famous saying, fake it until you make it. It sometimes works, but what I'm trying to say here is check your heart, not just about the way how you do it, but how your heart and your mind, how are they thinking, how are they reflecting who you are and what you can do, my friend. And if you remain zero spirit, that means you remain hungry. It also helps you to grow more and learn more. As I said at the beginning, if you already think you know everything, you will tend not to open your mind for any advice or anything, new things that you can learn. I know so many people who have spent huge money in self-growth and self-development. And that is the smartest thing, my friend. Because instead of working hard on the business, you should work hard on yourself. It's like what I said about wisdom. When you work on the wisdom, if you're wise, everything else will flow. So if we start to focus on working on ourselves and personal growth and development, we're going to get everything. And that is why there's a significant difference between the successful people and the unsuccessful one. The successful people tend to have more discipline, and they will show commitment. They're willing to be hard to themselves. Let's be honest, when you wake up, you can sleep at what time you get up, whatever you want, and go do anything that's easy. But will it really help you to grow? Will it really bring you more joy and happiness? I doubt. Maybe it's a short term, but it doesn't help you in the long term. And that is why we need to remember, keep humble, keep a great humble heart, and always remember the spirit of zero. If you can handle a day as a fresh new day, and you can face your day with a zero spirit, it's like, wow, today is a new day for me to grow. Today is a new day for me to explore. And every day is going to be adventure. Every day is going to be so wonderful, my friend. That's how I live my day. It doesn't mean I'm not repeating things. I repeat a lot of things because practice makes perfect. Consistency brings success as well. I'm talking about your mindset. Every day, look for new things. Be open to learn more things and stay humble, stay hungry. That will help you to grow so much more. Your life is going to be so much better. And last but not the least, As a business owner myself, I completely understand all those business owners. If you are one of them, I do understand about you. Sometimes when we're working so hard towards goals, we tend to look at all the things that we don't have, the goals that we haven't achieved yet. And we tend to raise a game that we compete. When someone's comparing us with the other competitors, we feel unsafe. Well, if they win, that means I lose. It's a normal, natural thing that will happen to us. But wait a minute, is it really true when somebody's winning, that means we're losing? No. I always believe that in lifting others, we rise. When others are better, that means I can be even better. Because we learn from each other. Sometimes people hate competition, but competition is healthy sometimes. If there's no competition, people won't make more efforts. Everything's going to be so low quality. Because of the competition, it brings more hunger, drive for excellence. And that's the beauty of it, my friend. And that's also one thing I want to remind you. Some of the people here, like sometimes I have the same problem when I wake up. I see my bank account. Yes, I got enough money for today, for tomorrow, or for a few months, or the year, whatever that is for you. But sometimes if we don't be reminded of the hunger and the zero spirit, we won't even make efforts for the day. Remember, it's 4 seasons in our life. Not every season is winter, but not every season is summer. We need to embrace the season. But the number one thing is never stop sowing. If we're sowing the seed, and the seed will grow, and the fruits will grow. But if you stop sowing, yes, right now you'll be fine. 1 year you'll be fine. How about after 1 year? You'll be struggling again. So let's remember the power of zero. Stay hungry. Stay humble, my friend. Because every day is going to be a wonderful day for you if you understand what I just said. God bless you, my friend. I will see you in the next talk.